On this week's episode of the Superhero Show, we'll find out if Bruce Wayne becomes a better Batman on Caped Crusader, if Kite Man could save Glider's mom from the Lazarus Pit, and how Wilson Fisk became the Kingpin on Spider-Man the Animated Series. All of that and more on an all-new episode of the Superhero Show. What's up, nerds? Welcome to the Superhero Show, a podcast that watches only the best comic book-based TV shows of the week and reviews only those because we are free. We only watch what we want to watch. It feels good. It also feels good to be here with my friends. Let me introduce Ryan.
Frenza. Is there more than one person here today?
Wait, did you say Brenda?
Frenza. You said pluralized friends. I call all my friends Brenda. You know, Brenda, my frienda.
I don't think I've ever met a Brenda in real life, and I was so excited to meet a Brenda. I thought you had a Brenda on the line for me.
Oh my god, the most important Brenda of all time just died.
Wait, what? Who?
Shannon Doherty from 90210.
Oh,
joining
damn.
Dylan McKay, Luke Perry in heaven.
That's this is a sad note
forever.
to start this on, Ryan.
Okay. All right, we're going to switch it. We're going to end on this note instead, so
Cool.
Stay tuned. In like an hour, we're going to bring this up again.
We're gonna dive deep into this. But yes, I do have a Brenda here, aka another friend. Ryan, guess who it is?
Do you want to play a real guessing game?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you give me a hint?
Yeah,
It's Caitlin.
No. Damn it, you're too good, Ryan. It is Caitlin. Caitlin, welcome to the pod. Nope. We're going to try again. We're going to see if we can bring her back on again. This is going to be normal Caitlin. Caitlin, welcome to the pod.
What up?
There we go. That's normal Caitlin. There it is.
The first word she said, the way that she introduced herself, that's a terrible note to start the pod on. I would like to move that to the end of the pod as well.
The end of the pod has a lot for people to look forward to.
It was almost like a home from like SpongeBob.
Yeah, it was very SpongeBob vibes. Thank you. That's what
SpongeBob, that's like a cartoon from your guys' generation?
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
Unfamiliar.
Dude. That little square sponge. He wears pants. He lives in a pineapple.
I actually heard that that girlfriend of his, I don't know if they actually do it, but she's a squirrel with a fish tank on her head.
Yeah.
That she got her own movie recently.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. Netflix.
But
big deal.
It's not based on a comic book, so I don't know why you guys are bringing it up.
I don't know why it's even on your radar if it's not based on a comic book. Why are you cheating on these shows like that?
Also, my whole persona is that I've never heard of SpongeBob, but I'm a huge Sally the squirrel. Is that her name?
Yeah. You just have a Google alert for Sally the squirrel.
Yeah. I don't know what she's from, but I love her.
Die for her. Tell me about the tattoo you're going to get of her.
The fourth one?
Yeah, the fourth one.
The third one, or the first one says Sally. The second one says squirrel.
Very straightforward.
The third one is a picture of her bottom half.
Okay.
And the fourth one is going to be a second picture of her bottom half.
That's right. That's how we like it. Well, Ryan, as you mentioned, it's not based on a comic book, so we can no longer talk about it. That is the max amount we can talk about that. You want to know what we can talk about, though?
Guessing game?
Yeah, another guessing game. Guess.
Give me a
Fucking guess,
hint. Give me a
dude.
hint. Give me a hint.
Okay.
Caitlin! It's Caitlin.
No, we can't. We will talk about Caitlin, unfortunately. But we'll be talking about Kite Man. Hell yeah. We'll also be talking about Spider-Man the Animated Series because we love that shit. But first, let's go talk about our favorite show of the week, which is going to be Batman Caped Crusader. On episodes 2 and 3 of Batman Caped Crusader, we are introduced to Clayface and Catwoman. Episode 2 tells the story of an actor who's desperate to make it as a big-time actor, but his horrible, ugly face is keeping him from reaching fame. This leads him to doing experimental treatments on his ugly face and then ultimately to a life of murder. In the third episode, we are introduced to Selena Kyle, aka Catwoman, who's just a single mom trying to feed approximately 500 cats. And she's desperate to feed all those little mouse, which ultimately leads her to a life of robbery. Taste buds, I ask you, this is a new series, so we of course have to be introduced to all the big players, which is happening in a week by week manner. Are you enjoying this villain of the week setup that we're getting so far?
I mean, as opposed to all of them being introduced in the first episode?
Yeah, like as like a whole, just like, here's everyone, let's get it out of the way. Or they could also do, just like, you already know these people, here they are.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of in the first 2 episodes. That's what they did with Batman, right?
Yeah.
And then we got turns out his parents got shot in Crime Alley.
Fucking yeah, dude.
When those pearls showed up, I was like, what?
When the pearls hit the floor, you're going to dance at the door of becoming Batman, I believe is how the song goes. But yeah, I like this. And they're slightly different, I think, that, Catwoman's whole thing is different than any other origin I've ever seen. And she's got the, old school, 1930s costume, which I loved, although that cape, again, not to keep quoting what's her name from The Incredibles, but incredibly impractical.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I am enjoying it where, normally it's tedious. Every time we get a new Superman, I'm like, we get these fucking people. We know it. But shows are getting better about doing that, like My Adventures with Superman. They have different takes on all of these characters, so you kind of need a little bit of introduction, and they're not as, dragging it out. So far, we haven't seen Batman's mom get shot, so we've just witnessed the pearls. We have yet to do that. So, I mean, I like what they're doing so far, and each character, they have a good take, a fun little interesting take on them.
Yeah, who do you want to, let's start with one of the origins and tackle
We can just go in order because, let's just start with Clayface. How'd you feel about this, Clayface?
Well, you barely exaggerated on the amount of times people call him ugly to his face.
And that he himself will be like, hey, detective, you want to know about this person? He's an ugly, ugly human being, and he's hard to look at.
But when he is himself, before he can change his face, he's like, and I'm ugly. And stands there waiting for somebody to argue with him, and they're all like, yes, you are. And let's be clear, the thing that makes him uglier compared to the other characters in the show are bags under his eyes, 2 things that I'm born with.
Yeah, dude.
And have all the time.
Heavy, deep, dark bags.
Also, there's makeup.
Yes.
On his face?
No,
he could
it exists in the Hollywood world.
Like concealer? Yeah. There is no real homie out there on any set for him.
Botox. There's so many things this boy could do.
We're back in time. Botox, not yet, I don't believe. Instead, some mystery green slime is the only thing that could be injected into a face.
In Gotham, yeah.
In Gotham. But yeah, it's straight up, he says to, the lead actor that he has a crush on, I'm blanking on her name in the series.
Yvonne?
Sure. Brenda. Why not?
Yvonne Brenda.
Yvonne Brenda. And she's like, you would be such a great actor. And he's like, yeah, except for my horrible, terrible, ugly ass face.
And it pauses. It pauses for her to think about what you're about to say, Yvonne. And then what does she say?
She just doubles down. She's like, yeah, it's a true tragedy. I'm like, fuck you, dude.
You're just so fucking ugly. So, you're so fucking ugly. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. I've been watching the show with my wife, which I really cherish because she hates the shit that we watch so much. So it's cool to have a show with her. But that means that she has to put up with, as when they run in and they find Basil Karlo's body on the ground, and then a mysterious man jumps out. I know who
ugly features.
I know who Basil Karlo is from comic books. So I'm like, that's not Basil Karlo. The guy running out the window is Basil Karlo. She just has to sigh and be like, oh wow.
She's watching with a 5-year-old.
Brilliant. You're so smart.
Look at my brilliant husband knowing things. I was a little confused by his plot. That first one did get me because I'm like, how is he Basil, but he's also Basil outside? But comic book shit, right?
Yeah, you figured it out.
I got there.
Did they ever in this episode call him Clayface?
No.
I don't think so, yeah.
Okay, because I didn't know it was Clayface, because only Clayface I know is from Harley Quinn, the great actor.
Yeah.
So now putting it all together, I'm like, oh, this makes a lot of sense.
I mean,
I think
it's hard to see that they're the same because one's face moves around and is an actor, and the other... No, it's very simple. They're the same character, for sure. Clayface.
Ryan, as a comic book expert, why his teeth turn like that?
Clay.
On both versions.
Now, Cassie, I've recently learned that you've become a master of pottery, working with your hands and with clay. Does Clayface ring true to you? Like, is this what it's like to be a clay person?
Absolutely. Just kind of like goopy, soppy all over. Yep. And you can just mold it into whatever you want. But I can tell you, it takes more finesse and more skill than what he was able to pull off. Oof. When he made himself a handsome man, aka got rid of his bags,
yes,
it took a little bit more time.
I wish we could have seen, like a Looney Tune, the pencil eraser come down and erase the bags under his eyes and just be like, I'm handsome now.
That was legit it. And I was like, hell yeah. I do like all iterations, the Harley Quinn Clayface and this one. The actor voice is always like exaggerated like that with him. Like he is just a thespian in that terrible way. Like this man.
Yeah. Also, he, as the handsome guy, goes and surprises Yvonne while she's trying to get into her home. And like, look, I'm handsome now. Are you ready for me? And she pauses for 1 second. She's like, get the fuck away from me, dude. Like, what are you doing?
I respect her. So he goes on this now that he, the love of his life rejected him and he's still an ugly glob of clay. He's just like, I have to accept this. I am a villain now. And he's doing this whole monologue while she's tied up. Like he's recreating one of the movies they've done together. She's tied up. There's a whole swinging blade coming for her. He's monologuing and she's like, weak, fucking terrible performance.
That was so savage. And I loved that part so much.
And she had no fear and was just like, I don't believe you. You're fucking bad at this. Get wrecked, dude.
The way that she did it, I thought it was part of a plan that her and Detective Montoya, who's tied up next to her, I thought they had come up with that on the sly. No, that was just her honest opinion, and it was time to give it.
She's out here, like, I wanted more of her. She's wrecking every man. The cop that later comes in, Montoya gets back up eventually, way too late, once, like, Batman and all of them have, like, solved everything. And this cop goes over to like just kind of check on her. She's already freed and everything. And he's like, do you want me to take you home? And she's like, I've already had enough of a nightmare, you ugly piece of shit. Fucking respect the shit out of her, dude. Such
you
a
are
good
uglier
character.
than Clayface. This is also Bullock, like getting away from Gotham, a show we used to cover. We're on full on corrupt piece of shit Bullock. Like this is the worst of the worst. I also wanted to note about this episode how, like, as a big BTAS fan, the Hollywoodness of this, like the old school Hollywood, the Phantom of the Opera, basically, it's basically a cover of Phantom of the Opera, just with how he kills everybody and his motivations. They end up on a medieval / Robin Hood set, and they both find fencing swords, Batman and Clayface. Like, all of this stuff is so up my crime alley, it's ridiculous.
So good. And the big, like Batman piecing the pieces together, like he cuts a cloth off of the little like scarf he has around his to hide his ugly face, his Clayface, and he puts it under an intense microscope thing to determine that the label says like it's from the production company. I'm like, hell yeah, we needed this.
Batman put the scarf under the microscope and he's like, enhance, got him.
Now let's go to the third episode, a banger of an episode. I love Selena Kyle, aka this Catwoman. She is cunty and a bitch and loves cats, and I love her so much.
Yes.
As soon as this introed and we saw the pearls in a case on display in a museum, I was like, this is fucking insane. I'm here for it.
I guess the pearls did not break apart. Were those Bruce's mom's pearls?
Or he sadly hand-pieced them back together so they could go back into a museum.
The saddest summer camp project of all time.
He's like, no, you work on your macaroni art. I have to put together my dead mom's pearls. But there was pearls on display for a museum piece that's just like, here's wealthy people's jewelry.
Yep, here is their shit, which is like the opposite of a garage sale. It belongs to rich people, and you cannot touch it.
It's behind glass, and you can look at it and tell us that it's pretty. You're welcome. This is art. She comes up and she's like, wow, what's up, Bruce? These are rad-ass pearls. We have a lot in common. We're both orphans. And he's immediately like, no, my parents died and yours is just in jail. And she's
For
like,
tax fraud.
Not even cool jail.
and I love her so much. Instantly, she was like, well, I'm now an orphan. Dad's very much alive.
Yeah, she is bratty. She is catty. She is like, she loves her cats far more than her human maid who seems to be working for free for 3 years.
3 years.
Treats her like shit. But yeah, just so much personality. She's usually characterized as like the coolest, sort of like capable of anything and everything. And she's just like, she's younger and dumber, and she has a crush on Bruce, but also almost as a joke doesn't, I think this is perfect. It's Christina Ricci, who I think has a slightly different voice than most like sultry Catwomen.
Yeah, they're not trying that at all. Like, she still has like the old costume, like obviously it's like cut up like basically to her vagine, but like it does, like they are just showing that she is kind of just like a younger kid, like a trust fund kid, just kind of thrown out on her own, and like she's just out here trying to collect cats and feed those cats mouse.
Yeah, I think I'm going to jump from building to building, be very acrobatic. I need high heels and a dress that shows my kitty. That's...
They're also... This is what I love about comic book shows and how they've done this. She's stealing all this jewelry, so she's getting money. She's not paying all the bills. Those are still getting thrown into the fire. But what she is doing is she will get her car. She finds the Gotham version of Exhibit and tells him that, please turn my car into a cat, and this is a top priority.
A purple cat, please.
With, what do you call them? The things on the tire covers?
It's got like whisker looking things.
And the claws in the front and the back.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I love that I haven't seen before, is that she falls in love with Batman, but it's sort of the idea of Batman in that I want cool shit too. Like, I want all the gimmicks instead of like, I want to have sex with him.
Yeah. Like, she saw he had a rad car. She was like, I could top this, turn it into a cat. It's so good. just look up photos of it if you haven't seen it. It's so good. And then she finds out that he has toys, aka like a boomerang, and she's like, fuck, I need that.
She goes, he's got toys.
Like, she's just making notes of all these things she needs to get besides a place to live.
And so she goes out and one of her toys, a live panther. That she just throws at Bruce.
Each time they interact, there's something new, and one is straight up just a panther. Like, where'd the panther fucking come from? It just, like, all of a sudden, a panther's there to attack Batman. And he threw what I thought was just a smoke bomb, and I was like, you fucking fool, dude. You're gonna give that panther a place to hide? Thought he was gonna die by panther, and I was here for it.
Yeah, but what happened? It's the best part of these 2 episodes. What happened?
It's just like, it's like sleeping gas, so he just, like, put that little panther to sleep. I guess, and was holding his breath that entire time.
Or he's immune to it because he's Batman and he's good at everything. But yeah, the Panther tackles him and is on top of him, and Batman just plain-faced, stoic, lays there and waits.
Yeah. I thought he was going to strangle a panther to death. I thought we were about to see animated panther stranglement and death.
During all this, we also have Bruce Wayne is going to therapy because he punched a reporter who said that his mom was dumb for wearing pearls in that part of Gotham, which, I mean, not great, but he definitely didn't deserve to die. So he does punch that reporter, and he has to go to therapy. And it's bringing some things up for him, wouldn't you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's the classic boys don't go to therapy. They put on rubber suits and fly around at night.
Classic.
And Bruce Wayne is doing this, having that attitude even after multiple sessions of therapy, like where he is clearly flashbacking, confronting trauma, going through it, but tells Dr. Quinzel that he's a grown man now and he barely thinks about it. Motherfucker, it's literally the only thing you think about.
You literally created a cave and a whole different persona because of this shit, because it haunts you at night. We saw you as a child turn into a little demon child and wake up your butler to be like, I'll murder them all of them, and you're gonna help me.
That's another big change here, is the treatment of Alfred is just so different than how Bruce or Batman has ever treated him before. I wanted to ask you, Caitlin, because this is your first time talking about the show. Overall, what do you think of the tone, the mood, the sense of humor, if there is one? Like, is this clicking for you?
I actually really like it. It's a lot of fun. He definitely, back to Batman treating his poor butler like a butler. He's like, my coffee's cold. And then he just goes and gets him new coffee. It's like, oh, this is sad.
He just drives around. He's like, sir, it's bedtime. I don't know if you've noticed, little boy, it's bedtime.
Little boy, it's bedtime.
He's like, no, there's crime out there. Fuck off.
There's crime. You will never sleep. I will stand over your body, Alfred. You must do this for me.
But like,
no, I think this story, this Batman is less about Batman and more about everything around it, because I think Batman is like the most least interesting character for me, at least. I liked Selena Kyle. I liked Clayface's story. Like everything that goes on around it is very fun. Batman, he's kind of like, he's what you expect. He's no fun. He's just catching.
No fun.
He's no fun at all. And I think even Selena Kyle says, "You're no fun." And he says, "No, I'm not."
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's all of this is. You're not fun. I don't like you.
And
I love everything around you.
that's character development for Batman. Just him saying, "I am not fun."
I am not.
But like, I think that the Alfred relationship is kind of explained in the third episode, because usually they are partners, right? They are equals.
Yeah.
He treats him like he would Dick or Robin, or Damien or whoever. But he's very different in this one, and Alfred takes it because when he was 12 years old or 10 or whatever, he came in and said, "I'm going to kill them all and you're going to help me." Like, this Alfred is scared. This is the first time I've ever seen Alfred like legitimately scared of his boss, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a scary little boss with a lot of toys and stuff.
A lot of toys and a lot of money.
We're almost out of time. I do have a question that's really bugging me with this Batman, though. Normally, the Batman voice comes on when he's in the Batman suit, and that's the fake voice. This is the voice he uses with Alfred, and he puts on a voice as Bruce. So which one is his real fucking voice? Because he will be out of Batman attire and talking to Alfred in Batman voice, and it's driving me insane.
Oh, Cassie, I mean, these are the big questions. These are now, like, Bruce should go to therapy. Based on just what you said.
Yeah, just that alone. He's got some problems. Let's go to moments of the week, though. Ryan, what do you got?
Oh, man, there's a couple. One I want to bring up, that we give Black Bolt so much shit because his real name is Blackagar Boltagon, and right, like I can't even. I'm doing this straight face, like he's a serious person, and you guys are just laughing straight up at his name, and he just shortened his name to become Black Bolt, and gets a lot of shit for that. But Harleen Quinzel did do the exact same thing.
Yeah,
So,
but it sounds cooler.
Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Or Harleen Quinzel sounds cooler than Blackagar Boltagon.
Both are true. One and the same. You said you had other ones, or that's the main one you want to focus on?
My biggest moment of the week had to be, we've already covered it, but there's this fucking doof reporter at the beginning of episode 3, and he's like, "What kind of dumb bitch wears a pearl necklace into Crime Alley?" And then there's this perfect beat, and then Bruce Wayne out of nowhere punches the shit out of his face. And then we get to see it in replays. We get to see it on the cover of newspapers. Man, when you're going to talk about moms, you best look around to see if their children are there.
If this fucking beefcake of a son is going to be there or not. Like, just look around. You're a reporter. Caitlin, do you got a moment of the week?
It has to be Selena Kyle introducing herself to Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
The most savage, beautiful moment, just saying that we are two orphans.
Yeah.
And then also her saying, like, we're both rich, when she is clearly not.
Yeah.
She can't even feed her cats. I think she was trying to get money from Bruce at that point, and I respect her game.
Oh,
She's-
damn. Because then, yeah, she wouldn't have had to steal. I don't know where she picked up all of these thieving skills in her past.
Yeah.
I don't know if they covered that.
She has trophies.
She's a ballerina.
Stealing
They
trophies.
They mentioned ballerina, and that's about it. So, you know.
I also want to know, like, when Daddy died, Selena just blew through the money, I guess. Like, she
Daddy's in
inherited it
jail.
all. Oh, Daddy's in jail. You're right.
Yeah, right.
Daddy's in jail.
Daddy's very much
Daddy's
alive.
in jail for tax fraud.
So the money's just like frozen right now for her. Best as I can understand is there is no money in the bank right now.
She explained it to her butler, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, who knows?
I also want to give credit to the animators for when they move out of their posh apartment to their shitty apartment with all the cats and basically no furniture. The animators, the artist did an incredible job of this apartment because the ceiling is dirty. And you know that you're in a piece of shit place when how is there so much dirt on the ceiling?
That's just years of buildup. My moment of the week is just finding out that the whole art museum collection was just rich people's jewelry and just beautiful.
And Cassie, this is such an important exhibit that when it is going to end shorter, like it's going to close down faster than people expected, there's announcements on the radio. Like, if you want to come see this rich people shit, you better get here soon to the museum.
And the museum's in panic. They're like, please, let us have the weekend.
Can we just have the weekend?
They need to see this. If you haven't yet, check it out. Batman Caped Crusader. It's on Amazon Prime. Watch along with us, though, please. That is it for Batman. Let's go talk about Kite Man. Hell yeah. On this week's episode of Kite Man, Hell yeah, Kite Man, Golden Glider, and Bane return to Bane's hometown, the Lazarus Pit, to save Glider's mom from Helen Villigan, the owner of Villigan's restaurant. Taste buds, I ask you this. How well does Bane handle returning to the place that made him Bane?
You know the answer to that, guys. He handles it incredibly. Are you surprised that of all the Harley Quinn characters to do the classic 80s crossover, we need one character from the last show, that it's Bane? Like, does that make the most sense?
Absolutely.
We always need more Bane.
They knew which character stole people's hearts immediately, and it's obviously fucking Bane. And I'm so glad that he has such a prominent part in this series.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it really is like they read the message boards and saw that Urkel was the most important part of Family Matters and then became the star of Family Matters. But yeah, he's got some... He's very nervous to go back because that is the pit that made him. And so they get to the pit. He flies down because he knows all the traps and stuff. And then as Kite Man and Glider come down, they do it together. He's calling out what the traps are. They don't listen to him. They just do whatever they want. And they land perfectly. I'm sorry, Cassie, what?
Hell yeah.
Kite Man, hell yeah. And they land perfectly. And he's just like, well, I'll just go fuck myself then. And walks away sad. And I think that the show is better than us sitting here and talking about Bane's line readings. But it's not a ton better than that.
It comes down to a lot of that.
The B plot line is the new server of Noonan's. I think that's the name of it. She's like Apocalypse's niece. Her boyfriend is coming in, so she says that, this isn't a real dive bar. This is like a game room, an escape room that I set up for you. He is the most evil British bad boy in the UK, and so he comes in and says, "Oh, this is like Westworld. They're like these are robots." So he just starts murdering all of the customers at the bar, and then that's also when the health inspector comes in. And guys, does wackiness ensue?
Oh my gosh! Between the two lines or the two plot lines, which one was more entertaining for you?
I mean, to have Kite Man, Glider, and Bane in the same story, then that's just it. Those are the three funniest people. And then Glider dealing with getting her mom back, who she is like sort of has amnesia for the entire episode, and then at the end finally realizes who Glider is and who she is, and then Glider says, "Oh, I have my mom back," and she says, "Fuck," because now for the third time in 2 episodes, she has remembered that she is a mom and doesn't want to be a mom, and now has to escape Glider again.
Oh, jeez.
So, how long do you think they'll keep this running of just her constantly remembering and then running away?
5 seasons in a movie, probably.
Perfect. The proper amount. Should we go to moments of the week?
Yeah.
What was yours?
Guys, it's Bane related.
What?
The 3 of them are running through a tunnel that is closing. They have to kill some zombies, and then they get out just before the tunnel closes in on them, and it's Kite Man and then Glider, and then Bane has just enough time to turn to the side and do a perfect ballerina leap, and I know I'm just describing it, but we probably rewound it like 4 times just to watch his grace, his beauty. He's an amazing man.
He's perfect in every way. It's
Bane.
Bane. Watch Kite Man, hell yeah. It's on Max on Thursdays. Sounds about right.
Yep.
Sounds good. Sounds great. Let's go ahead. Caitlin, I know you've been out from the pod for a little bit, and I can only assume it's because you've been working on a big website idea. I will give you time to display and promote that website right now.
Thank you so much. So I have been collecting koala hair for a long time, and I've been wanting to put this on my site because I think I need to display the world's largest. It's not pelts; it's just koala fur.
Like loose?
Yep.
Like a pile of?
Yeah.
Is it a ball? Is it a ball of koala?
I would never yarn this.
So you're not like forming it into anything. It's just like a loose
Ball of koala fur, and it's the largest in the world. And my website will be a petition to get the Guinness World Record to me. I'm not going to reach out to them. I want to create a website so that they will have to come to me, and I want people to sign on this website. And there's going to be some flashy, cool like gifts on there that say "Do it."
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And I think this is technically more work than reaching out to the Guinness Book of World Records.
I just don't want to do it. I'm not gonna.
You're just not
stoop
gonna
down
do
to
it.
that level.
You're gonna make them come to you.
Yeah, I got a big ball of fur.
And you think there's already a category that's like who has just a big ball of koala fur?
Yeah.
Well, I have to assume that they're always inventing new categories, right?
Yeah.
You can't just be breaking old records. You got to be setting new ones.
Exactly. This is a new age too. There's technology, and I have koala fur.
Like all the technology. How are you getting this koala fur?
That is not a question I'm ready to answer.
Okay, but what if Guinness asked that?
They shouldn't.
Are you going to tell them that you're qualified to do this?
Fuck off, dude. Fuck off. Have you just been waiting this whole time to get that one in at any moment?
Cassie, my mic seems to be broken. What's Cassie?
Well, Caitlin, I wish you all the best. I hope I want the koala fur. I need somebody to see this. So let's just throw it up on a website. And if you need to grab people's attention, I know just the people who can help you do that. That's cybersprout.net. And they're your partner for a digital world. They'll help you build a beautiful website. It's because they got design experts that are well-versed in digital strategy and elegant design. They have easy-to-edit fields, custom templates, drag-and-drop tools. Cybersprout will handle your hosting. They'll handle it all. Except for gathering koalas. They will build a website, though. Visit cybersprout.net to get started.
Cassie, I had a quick question, though, real quick.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I heard Caitlin say yarn, and I just want to know, is she a tired Australian? Is that what they say?
Yep. Yeah, that's it, dude.
Tune into Waiting for Doom, our Hit Monkey podcast, to learn more about what Australians say when they're tired.
See if they'll confirm if it's fucking yarn, dude. Oh, God. Cybersprout.net. Let's go talk about Spider-Man, the animated series. Welcome to S Tasmania Bitch, a mini show within a show where we take an in-depth, episode-by-episode look at the seminal and underrated afternoon cartoon of the mid-90s, Spider-Man the Animated Series. This week we watched Sins of the Father, Chapter 7, The Man Without Fear. Ryan, this episode, we need to prepare ourselves. There's so much happening every second in this one.
And Cassie, if you look at some like the pop filter paperwork, we may have already covered this episode before. So if we did, we apologize.
We apologize.
And we're going to make some of the exact same comments, and that's just fine with you, the audience. I'm telling you that right now.
I hope we get some new takes on it if that has happened. But this opening, there is about 80 explosions within 30 seconds. They're escaping. It's Daredevil and Spider-Man escaping like the Fisk technology building or whatever the hell. And the amount of times the building is exploding, they will find a wall, it'll crumble around them, and then an explosion will happen just back to back to back. And they just start talking to each other throughout all of this.
See, this is what I initially thought escape rooms were. Like, not, solve the clues, but like, this room is exploding, you dipshits. Are you going to get out of it? And if you don't, you die. How about that shit? Also, your best friend is blind. Okay, go.
They are taking the time, like, Spider-Man is like, wow, you're really good with that billy club. This is where the established, he is impressed with how he uses a billy club. It starts here while a building is exploding, and I'm like, now's not the time, dude. Now is simply not the time. But let's say the building explodes. I'm going to say 20 times. Daredevil gets knocked out from one of those. Spider-Man puts him off to a safe area that's not exploding. And he's like, well, I got to go back and get this thing to save Peter Parker, because I love Peter Parker. So he goes and grabs the disc, and they eventually make it out of the building. and they have this conversation with each other that's like, why do you care about Peter Parker?
I have to ask you guys, do they know who each other are and they're covering it up? Or are these the two dumbest motherfuckers in the history of time?
Absolutely the dumbest motherfuckers you've ever seen. Having the dumbest fucking conversation out there.
I can't tell if Matt Murdock knows. I can't tell what Daredevil's working with.
He has integrity and he believes in the Constitution, so he would never.
He would never.
Look
I mean,
through
doesn't
that mask.
Constitution sort of mean integrity? Like if you have a high Constitution.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what he's talking about. But there's a part in the beginning where Spider-Man's like, well, no, I got to go help my friend, Peter Parker. And it cuts to Daredevil and he smiles a little bit.
Yeah.
Which makes me sort of think that he's figured it out. But Spider-Man is this brilliant scientist who's like, man, Daredevil and Matt Murdock are together all the time. That's all. They only talk about each other. That's
seem to be
so
the only
weird.
friends.
Unlike my situation where I'm only talking about Peter Parker and vice versa.
Just the both of them like, man, that Peter Parker. They're like, yeah, my friend Matt Murdock is representing him in trial. I'll get this CD to him.
It's like at Disneyland when you know people who are like the Mickey or something. It's like, I'm friends with Mickey. It's like, bitch, you are Mickey.
You are, dude.
I'm friends with Matt Murdock. I
What
know you are.
we can't see is that every time they say something like that, they're winking a ton at each other, but they're wearing masks, so they can't see each other wink. Like,
You get it? You get it? After their bonding moment, they're now ride or died for each other. They're both just the dumbest motherfuckers who have ever met. We then cut to Kingpin, who is watching the footage of Spider-Man stealing the disc, and he's immediately like, Scythe, you dumb idiot, look at this plan, it's all falling apart.
It's like, he
I
knew
hate you."
exactly where it was. That's crazy.
Yeah, everyone.
how would Peter Parker tell Spider-Man that exactly where the disc was?
Who's our mole?
This does my favorite thing on TV where they watch security footage of Spider-Man getting the disc, and it is not security footage, it is footage from the TV show that they are currently in.
We now get to a scene, my favorite scene that's ever happened on any series. The news takes over, and it simply must report.
This just in.
Peter Parker's aunt has fallen and has been taken to the hospital.
A specific hospital.
Has fainted, and they are at General Hospital, room 102.
This criminal that nobody's ever heard of has an 80-year-old aunt. She has fallen over. If you need directions directly to that hospital, here they are.
We see this happens to Fisk, and they're like, excellent, here's how we get him. And then we cut to Peter. He's just had a good bonding session with Daredevil, and he's like, well, time to catch up on the news.
Now,
Turns it on.
Cassie, Kingpin watched the news, and that story was playing like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So if Peter turns on the TV, it would be a different news story, yes?
No, Ryan. Simply, this is all the news the town has.
It's breaking news.
Breaking
Just like
news.
she's breaking her hip.
And it just starts, Peter Parker's aunt has fallen.
Well, in the small village of New York City, how much news could there possibly be?
Yeah.
New York.
With tons of villains, all with insane superpowers out and about.
How often do elderly people fall?
Yeah. And we need to know about it and where they're staying in case we want to send flowers. So this instantly, everybody's on high alert. Aunt May, fucking in the hospital, fainted. Peter's on his way to go see her, and Matt Murdock stops him. He's like, "Hey, you are a wanted fugitive. They just announced that this is the location of the only person on Earth you care about. You probably shouldn't go here." And he's
Matt
like,
says, I was just watching the news for 4 hours, and all they talked about was Aunt May, so I would not do this.
"This is not good for you." And he's like, "Fuck off. I'm going to do it. I'm going to find a way." So we cut to the hospital, and who is there? Of course, MJ, Harry, and then we have Aunt Anna. And Aunt
Hey,
Anna,
you next Tuesday, Aunt Anna.
she's doing what Aunt Anna does, and it's just shitting on Peter Parker. Just saying he's a useless human being and he should be dead.
I mean, the Comedy Central roast of Peter Parker would not go as hard as Aunt Anna finds a way to do.
And it's just like the doctor just came in and was like, all right, no update. We'll see how it goes. And she's like, that Peter Parker, a lazy son of a bitch, never here. And you're like, God damn, Anna.
Despite being a Christian conservative, I'm changing my stance on abortion just because Peter Parker should have been aborted.
There was one exception, and it should have been Peter. This is too much for MJ. She's like, I can't take it. She goes out into the hall, and at this point, there's a little exchange between the two Aunt Annas that happen. One has a very cool belt, and the other one does not.
Is she wearing a belt? I did notice she was wearing a belt.
There's a peculiar little belt. There's also another change happening. They're trying to get Peter snuck in to say hi. They just put him in a little doctor's outfit, and MJ's like, this is Dr. Peters. Come on in. She needs to see the patient. And then he gets this weird sense when he sees Aunt Anna with a cool belt, and he just can't figure out why.
Is my Spidey sense just doing fashion now? Because I love that belt. That must be it.
That fucking belt. It's obviously, we find out that it is, of course, I'm going to say morph, but that ain't it.
Chameleon
in disguise as his aunt. So it's all a trap to get Peter because, again, everybody knew he was fucking here and was going to show up there.
Wait, hold on, Cassie. Bring up an interesting point, though.
Yeah.
In X-Men 94, Morph just looks like a guy with a terrible haircut.
Yeah.
In X-Men 97, he looks like Chameleon. He has the chameleon's face.
Yeah.
What is happening
it's
there?
It's confusing, dude. They're like, if a dude morphs, and then Community, the human being who's just in a morph suit, same look.
Yeah.
All a conspiracy.
Crazy.
Crazy.
I mean, like, should we call QAnon right now and report our findings?
I think we're onto something here, dude. This is where the story starts to get, we have about 8 different storylines happening here. At some point, we're dealing with, like, they're bringing Peter in, and when during this exposition we get like Kingpin talking about like digging up his trauma and his father. Oh, because his son's like, hey, I got Peter, I got the disc, we're all good. And
so Kingpin's like proud of his son for the first time ever, and he's like, well, I'm proud, unlike my father. And then Smythe like rolls his eyes and he's like, ugh, I don't know that much about your past. Would you like to tell me? Kingpin's like, indeed I will.
And we just see about his troubles of being a fat kid in New York, trying to live up to his dad, who's off doing like robbing banks and shit. He goes on multiple little runs with him, just gets left, literally hanging high and dry, hanging from like a stairwell, as his dad's like, you get it, somebody has to take the fall. So the cops
learned to do a pull-up.
Yeah, you fucking weak hoe. So the cops get him, they take him in, he takes the fall for the whole crime, doesn't admit to his dad, and then he spends time in jail, and in jail he learns all the skills he needed to be Kingpin.
Every single skill.
Which
all of them.
I think you could do, right? Like, you're around, well, I guess you're around people who aren't good at crime because they're in jail, but you learn from their mistakes, and yeah, it's like crime college. And
he somehow like he gets like shin implants at this point because he comes like 10 feet tall in prison, and that's a skill he learned in prison. He then we see how he turns into Kingpin, and then he turns on his father. He's like, fuck you. He gets his henchmen to kill his dad. And that's when Smythe interrupts him. Yeah. And it's like, I interrupted you. I'm basically the Smythe to your Kingpin, which is a great realization for me to have right now. But he's like, damn, Fisk, that's harsh, man. This is like, he's seen Fisk do so many things, and this is the time where he was like, fucked up, you crossed a line. You done did it. And then, we just get like another showdown happening. They're I can't tell you why or how. There's just a fucking fight happening. Well, we left out a crucial part where Agent Choi, who wants the disc because she's a cop and she wants to do good things, is actually not out to do good things. ACAB. So she's actually a plant in the police department for Wilson Fisk. So she gets the disc and Parker back to Wilson Fisk's son. And then we have a different agent or a cop who actually has figured it out
And so all of these good guys and bad guys collide at a mansion.
Yeah, so we've got a big old fight going down. We also have Daredevil obviously has to join it because he's invested in Peter Parker for no reason whatsoever. So we get another fight between them. It gets a little confusing for Spider-Man, though, because Chameleon uses his fun little belt to turn into Daredevil, and his spidey senses just can't detect a fucking belt, dude. He can't tell which one
It's
is
the
which.
one with the. It's the guy with the belt. It's Spidey. It's the guy with the belt.
But no, he doesn't use that. There's one of these Daredevils uses that fucking billy club in another really cool way, and he's like, God damn, if it ain't you. My man.
Like, I know who it is.
My man with the billy club. There he is. And they just part ways. Everyone, we go to the trial, I think, and it's like all cleared up here. We got the disc. We see Peter Parker. You are cleared. He meets Kingpin, pulls up in his limo, and he's like, Peter Parker, I'm sorry. I didn't know my son was stealing secrets. Who would have thought? That's
because
crazy.
He makes his son take the fall like his dad made him take the fall.
Don't these morons know that eventually when Kingpin's son rises to power, he is now the Kingpin. He's going to bring Wilson Fisk in and kill him just like Wilson Fisk had done before. The sins of the father, folks. The sins of the father.
Chapter 7.
We've done it. It should end here. It doesn't. We have another scene of like Matt Murdock and Spider-Man just kind of like bonding and being like, hey, fuck Fisk. Yeah, fuck Fisk. I got a mission. It's all you now. You got to protect the city against Fisk. And I think that's about it.
Daredevil says, I am going to go away. And so is Matt Murdock for some reason. Goodbye.
Goodbye forever.
Did we miss the part where they capture Wilson, like they tie him up or something, and then Spider-Man comes down and said, oh my God, look at this beached whale.
Yeah, we did.
Oh,
During
yeah.
that fight, they do have to fight Fisk.
There's a lot of mean things that he says.
Spider-Man gets in about 8 quips about Kingpin being a whale. Just so many. He's like, time to reel in this whale. And he's like, call me Moby Dick because you're my whale. I'm like, we get it.
He's fat, I tells you.
We get it.
And then there's also Kingpin's classic line, like the dialogue writing, the delivery. Matt Murdock and Kingpin fight, but before they do, Kingpin says, you'd have to be a daredevil to dare to challenge me. Just so smooth. What a pimp-ass thing to say.
I'm going to miss these team-ups. I fucking love this little straight-edge Matt Murdock and how dumb he is, and this Peter Parker just being so dumb. I love it.
When you guys think of Fisk in general, not with this show, but with all Marvel Entertainment, when you guys think of Fisk, do you think of him as a Spider-Man villain or a Daredevil villain?
Daredevil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It started as Spider-Man, but as Spider-Man moved away from like more crime-based street-level stuff, he's just Daredevil now. Like, I think it happened in the 80s, but
Daredevil has one obsession, and it's only Fisk. Spider-Man has, like, he's there to protect his city, and Daredevil's like, fuck this one guy specifically.
And the docs. Don't forget about the docs. You must keep them safe.
Yeah.
and Spider-Man has MJ and Aunt May and, many obsessions.
Yeah.
Daredevil's like, I am obsessed with Karen and Foggy. I'm not. Never mind. Fucking kill him. I don't care.
It don't matter.
I don't care. Let's go to our Webbies, where we give away some awards. I'm going to start this off with Best Web Zinger. Caitlin, I'm going to let you give the points.
Cool, thank you.
In your, this can be me and you, Ryan. Best Web Zinger, what do you got, Ryan?
I have, this one's early on, and Spider-Man's about to get the disc, and this one could have been the 90s probably too, just proving how much the show knows about technology. But he says, I hope this software isn't soft-boiled.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, the building has exploded 80 times at this point, and he is taking the time to make this quip. This is
and
the
then
only
winking
disc.
under his mask.
This disc, his whole life relies on this disc, and he's like, wait, let me get this line in.
Yeah.
And God, we salute you.
I also love the, I love the connection to the Catwoman Batman episode, because we didn't talk about the reporter or the photographer who he scared the shit out of.
Yeah.
He sneaks up behind him, and the photographer's like, holy shit! Almost falls to his death. But Batman has him, which I've never seen Batman do anything like this. I need you to take pictures of my innocence. And then the photographer's like, well, I also got some pictures of you beating the shit out of cops.
Yeah.
Batman's like, oh, I don't care about that. Alfred's like,
Insane.
you should probably. He's like, no, I don't care.
I don't care about it. I told you.
But yeah, this connection of these, we need the photography to prove that we're innocent. It connects these episodes.
Related to that, that's where my web zinger comes from. When Matt Murdock is like, "Hey, why do you care about Peter Parker?" And he's like, I like his work. He always shoots my good side."
Yeah.
Fucking great excuse. Caitlin, who deserves some points out of those?
I'm gonna give it to Ryan. That one, I was confused by it, but it did catch me, and I was like, "Is this an egg joke or what is it?" I don't know, but it got me.
Good old egg jokes. How many points are you going to give him for that egg joke?
Eggs are 88 points.
88.
Eggs are 88 points, and that's a fact.
I hope you have a fucking calculator, Cassie. 'Cause I'm not making this easy.
I fucking don't, dude. This is going to go downhill.
And I guess, Cassie, you also got an egg there. A goose egg.
Yeah, goose egg. Yeah,
Congrats.
great. Ryan, hey,
3
Ryan.
points to Cassie.
Hey, Ryan, come close. Fuck you, bro.
Ow! Please do not slap me during the awards part.
I'm in this now. I'm going to fucking destroy you now. We're going to go to best Kung Fu grip or move or power. I am going to say the best power was the consistent power to use Peter Parker's fainting ant against him just throughout this whole series. The amount of times Aunt May has just fucking fainted, and it has been like a major plot point to this. I'm going to say that's the best use of power. Ryan, what do you got?
I wish in the 90s when all these toys were out, you know how everybody had like a Kung Fu action move?
Yeah.
The Aunt May toy had her wrist come up to her forehead as she fell over.
That, and then the Xavier toy is just him falling out of his chair.
A magic ejecto seat.
The coolest thing that happened in this episode, by far, and I know typically the action move has to do with violence, but Chameleon is tied up in web, and he burns the web to come down perfectly in order to catch the CD that was thrown directly at him, and then runs away.
Rad move.
Yeah.
But also, did you see how Daredevil used his billy club?
I did
Throughout the,
notice the
whole-
Billy Club, yes.
Yeah, that was pretty cool too. Caitlin, who gets those points?
It's going to be the power of the fainting ant, obviously.
Obviously.
Oh my God. Rigged.
Coming for you, Ryan. How many points would I get? And remember, Ryan has 88 currently.
312.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. Get wrecked, Ryan.
Also, Caitlin, you can give points to both people. It doesn't
I
have
gave
to.
Cassie 3 points last time, too. Did you hear that?
Oh, I
Did you get
didn't.
that, Cassie?
Oh, and it was 3 points on that previous one for me. You're right.
Yeah.
I did hear that. That is right.
Cassie, what is in that briefcase you're handing to Caitlin right now?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. It's drugs. It's just good old drugs. Good old fashioned drugs. Let's go to most 90s thing. Ryan, what do you got for it?
Oh, man, there were so many in this episode. Sometimes we just have episodes that take place entirely in the sewer, and there's nothing we can say. Although I think sewers are 90s. But at one point, when the good cops attack, and, you know, oxymoron, I understand, good cops. But when the good cops attack Kingpin's mansion, and the bad guys just start throwing laser guns, and the cops come in with laser guns, and it is absolute laser warfare everywhere. And all of the voice actors, instead of hearing the pew pew, we hear just them grunting, just like it's like a bunch of middle-aged men doing paintball. Just, and there are fucking pink and yellow highlighters shooting all over the screen.
It's so important. I think it adds to it that the good guys have blue, the bad guys have pink. It's how it has to be.
It's a gender reveal party, basically.
The last one standing is how you know. For most 90s thing, I have the way that they draw cars dodging through traffic, the way it's just like instantly over to one little lane or the next. It's just like playing a game.
It's
And
video games, yeah.
I love it so much. But that's what I got for that. Caitlin, little colored lasers or dodging traffic?
Laser beam.
Laser beams. And the points?
777 points.
777.
Jackpot.
Dang,
Yeah.
Ryan, that's pretty good. All right, New York is a character. There's one that obviously stands out in this. MJ, during one of these fights, has to hold her own too. She takes out a little bad guy, and Peter Parker, or Spider-Man, sorry, is like, wow, impressive. And she's like, yeah, I'm a woman living in New York, so self-defense is needed. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's go New York. She called it out right there.
I guess she said New York.
She said
so
New York.
Technically it counts.
And it's that New York lifestyle of a woman having to protect herself. Isn't that fun? New York, baby.
No, it's not fun. That's a terrible thing.
New York, baby.
What I'm saying is it's terrible that they have to, not it's terrible that they do.
It's terrible that they know self-defense. Ryan.
But the true answer is so obvious, it's ridiculous. I don't even know why I have to say it. If you close your eyes and I say, all right, the movie takes place in New York, fade in. The one thing that's going to be happening, obviously, is that children have broken open a fire hydrant and they're playing in the water. It's every second of every day of New York. 3 a.m, January, doesn't matter. Kids are going to play in that. Why do so many buildings burn down in New York? Because the kids took all the water from the fire hydrant.
They're busy. And there's going to be one fat kid, full clothes on, unable to play in that.
There's Wilson Fisk, little Wilson Fisk with his shirt still on, still playing in the water.
Caitlin, let's give some points for that.
Oh, it's got to be the fire hydrant.
It's got to be. How many points are you giving?
10.
10. 10 points. And Ryan, you don't need it, but there's a chance for some bonus ones here. Fucking compliment me, dude.
Why do I love Cassie? Let me count the ways. Well, here's one of the ways. We had to have a good show today.
Yeah, had to.
And so Cassie said, because she is a brilliant host, producer, CEO, CFO, she's a phenomenon, I would say.
Yes, bitch.
Cassie said, fuck Mike, kick him off the show. Sacrifices must be made. Cassie is in this one moment only, the Wilson Fisk of the TV show. Or the podcast, I mean.
This is the proudest I've ever been. Absolutely. I've never enjoyed Fisk. And now I kind of see him as a bit of a hero. And you're right. Sacrifices must be made.
Cassie, I think you need to give yourself a compliment in order.
I agree
to get a points.
I too can rock a belt like Chameleon can, and I think that's pretty impressive. Yay!
I think you need to do better than that.
I too can use a billy club to stop a
we know this is wrong.
From crumbling down, and I can save all my friends, and I can rock a garter like Daredevil can.
He can rock a garter, that's for sure, and so can you.
And that's it.
10 points for Cassie.
Yay! 10 points. Did Ryan get any extra points?
Ryan gets no points.
No points. All right, Ryan. The points. Are you ready for these? I did pretty good. I got 325 points. Pretty dang good.
Okay, well, I got 777 on one of them.
Yeah, so you came out with 875, so you did win this one. You are the Spider-Man boy this week. Enjoy it this week while you can still be the Spider-Man boy. That is it for the show, though, which means it's now time to talk about websites. Ryan, what do you know about them websites?
I know that popfilter.co is a website where you can get all of these episodes outside of a podcatcher. So if you're like, I love podcasts, but I hate convenience, go to that website and listen to them all.
Do it. We also have another show on the network, Movie of the Year. Ryan, what are you guys covering this week? Right now.
We are wrapping up. We just dropped our Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo episode from our 1984 season. Yes, and this is topical and totally intentional because did you guys know the new sport in the Olympics this year?
Breakdancing?
No. No.
Oh.
It is called breaking.
Oh, sorry.
Wow.
That's
breakdancing. Breakdancing is the title that was given to it by colonists who tried to take over and exploit the sport. It is called breaking, and we did Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Hell yeah. We didn't cover all the shows that are comic book based that came out. Can you direct the people to some podcasts that they should listen to if they want to hear about those shows.
For sure. I was hoping that one of the three of us would attempt to tackle Umbrella Academy, but I guess we're all done. Are we all done, guys?
I wanted to give it a shot.
Did it come out?
Yeah, it came out.
Wow.
It came out. It's out there.
I'll watch it.
Caitlin's on it, dude.
We'll see if I come back, though.
She's just going to watch it and not give us
was.
I'm probably going to watch it, and it's going to kill me. It's like The Ring. That's how that movie happened, right?
Yeah, that's
okay,
it.
Cool.
That's it.
They watched Umbrella Academy.
I think it just wore me down. But our best friends from TV podcast industries are covering it this season. So please check their coverage out. We recommend it. And in fact, listen to it right after this episode and then pretend we covered it and then we covered it.
Here
I
we
like
go.
that better than The Ring scenario.
Where you don't die? Yeah.
Yeah, I like where I don't die.
That's probably better. Caitlin, tell the people about the social media.
Aha! You should go on to Instagram, Your Pop Filter on Instagram. There's some fun videos, and every time there's a little episode out, you get a little reminder because there's a little picture and there's a little doodly-doo, which is called a caption.
Dang, a picture and a doodly-doo.
Yep.
Every time there's an episode. That's a deal.
And it's for free, Cassie.
It's for free.
There's so many few things that you can get for free.
These days,
So
dude,
many few things.
there's so many much littles of few things.
There's just not a lot of a ton of things.
There's a multitude of none things.
I have a whole bucket of lots.
Yeah, at Your Pop Filter on Instagram. Go ahead and follow us. We're also on Blue Sky. Find us over there if you know how to work it. I believe in you. You have the powers. We got an email, contact@popfilter.co. Ryan, we have a whole email episode coming up, correct?
Yeah, what episode is this?
This is 55. 5,
Oh.
45, 50. It's a lot.
So while Cassie announces the worst game of bingo I've ever heard, I think that we passed our email episode, so we are due, and we're going to do it.
We, as you can tell, we totally have things handled over here, but we could use your help. So please send us emails. We're going to have
Maybe
a whole...
Cassie's decision to sacrifice Mike was not the best.
This is where Mike is going to raise from the dead and haunt my ass. This will anger him so much. But yes, we need your emails. You can send us anything, any question you have, anything you want to know about us. Nothing's too weird. Go ahead and send it over. That's a very scary thing to say before saying send us your emails, but I trust you guys. You're all rad. That email is contact@popfilter.co. Send us those. Next week we will be talking about Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. God, yes. So be sure to catch that episode. That is it for this week, though. For Mike, I'm Ryan. For Ryan, I'm Mike. For Caitlin, I am me. And for me, I am me. Bye, everyone.